Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with translations. So let's look at the first problem. It says point A was translated 3 units right and 4 units down to create point A prime. So here we actually have it drawn for you. So we're going to go ahead and find the coordinates for A and A prime. So A, the coordinate, remember it's always x comma y, is negative 1, 2. And then that changed to A prime when it was translated, and now the new coordinate is 2, negative 2. So y'all guys have a bank of different rules, but if we were to write our own rule, it says, does x increase or decrease by how many units? So let's go ahead and look at just the x's first. So looking at the x's, I have negative 1, and then it translated and changed to 2. So that's definitely an increase. So I automatically know that x was increased, so I added to x. Well, how many did we add to x? So if I go from negative 1 to 2, I needed to add 3, because negative 1 plus 3 gives me 2. So we have x plus 3 was how it changed. Now we're going to look at the y. So the y was 2, now it's negative 2. So the y got smaller, it decreased, so we're going to be subtracting from it. So it was 2, now it's negative 2. To get there, I had to subtract 4. 2 minus 4 gives me negative 2. So now that we have our changes, we can go ahead and write our rule. Remember, our algebraic representation or rule always starts off with xy, changes to, and then this is where it's going to be different depending on the transformation that happened. So here, x increased by 3 and y decreased by 4. So this would be the rule for the first one. Now let's go ahead and look at the second one. So point B was translated 2 units left and 5 units up to create point B prime. So we got to plot B prime first. So this time we need to do it ourselves. So go ahead and pause it, plot the point, and then you can play it and check. So we're going to go 2 left, 1, 2, and 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So B prime will be right here. So let's go ahead and write the points for B and B prime. So B was originally negative 2, negative 3. And B prime is negative 4, 2. So now we're going to go ahead and match the rules again. So we're going to first look at x. So looking at x, it was negative 2, now it's negative 4. That decreased, so I subtracted from x. Well, how many did it decrease? It decreased by 2. Negative 2 minus 2 gives me negative 4. Now let's go ahead and look at the y's. So I have negative 3 and now it's 2. So y increased by 5. Negative 3 plus 5 will give me 2. Now let's go ahead and write our rule. So we start off with x comma y, changes to, and then here's where we're going to put our change. X decreased by 2, so x minus 2, comma, y plus 5 because y increased by 5. Now let's go ahead and do the ones on the back. So I recommend that you pause it and try to do it on your own, and then you can play it and check now that we've done a couple together. So triangle CDE was translated 3 units right and 2 units up to create triangle C prime, D prime, E prime. So fill out the coordinates for D and D prime. So we're going to go ahead and just focus on one point. We don't need to translate the whole figure. So D was originally negative 1, negative 2. And then we translated 3 right. So let's go ahead and get D and go 3 right. 1, 2, 3, and 2 up. 1, 2. So this will be D prime. So that coordinate for D prime is 2, 0. And this is actually all that I need in order for me to create the rule. We don't even need to translate the whole figure. However, if we did, it would look like this. This would be C prime and but we're going to go ahead and just look at the d coordinate. So it was -1 for x, now it's 2, so I know x increased, so I'm adding to x. How many do I need to add? I need to add 3. -1 plus 3 gives me 2. Now let's go ahead and look at the y. So it was -2 and now it's 0, so I added to the y, I added 2. -2 plus 2 gives me 0. So let's go ahead and write our rule. So I have x comma y changes to x increased by 3, y increased by 2. Now let's go ahead and do the last one. Again, I recommend that you try it on your own, pause it, and then check your answer watching the video. This one says that triangle FGH was translated 1 unit left and 3 units down to create triangle F prime, G prime, H prime. So fill out the coordinates for F and F prime. So again, we're just going to be focusing on a point because we really only need to translate one point to figure out the rule. So we're going to look at F. The coordinate was originally 2, 4. It went 1 left and 3 down. 1, 2, 3. So the new coordinate for F prime is 1, 1. So let's go ahead and start off by looking at the x. So we have -2 and 1. So the x decreased, it got smaller. It decreased by 1, so we're going to have x minus 1. And then let's look at the y's. So y was 4 and now it's 3. Y also decreased, so we're going to subtract again. This time it decreased by 3. So now let's go ahead and write our rule. So I have x comma y changes to x decreased by 1, y decreased by 3.